Consolidated had the option on the plan, and they were always talking about starting up again, you know, which they never had any intention of. In essence, they just wanted to finish all the cars, and in addition to the cars that were sitting on the assembly plant, there were about 1,000 cars sitting in the ports that were never shipped. So once we had finished all those cars, Jeff Abrams says, hey, there's one chassis there, we're gonna bring it over. Chassis built a third gold car with the spare parts that I had in California. And once they had gotten all the cars out, they bought the assets or the parts, and they had offered me to buy the whole parts deal for $4 million, which I didn't. But Marvin Katz, who had been working with Consolidated, he was warehousing things for them, and he was going to take care of the move. So Marvin and I were working together over in Ireland, and he bought the deal. He bought the parts deal for whatever. And I went over everything and we packed everything into containers, and that's how everything ended up in Columbus, Ohio. And then I had a contract with Consolidated to be their consultant for a year, a contract that Marvin Katz took over, and then I helped him set up the warehouse in Columbus. And we brought all the stuff from California, all the racks, the carousels, and set it up there in Columbus, Ohio. So I worked with them for a year. And then it so happens I got a phone call one day. It was from what's his name? Delorean one.
Ed Bernstein.
Ed Bernstein, right? And he asked me if I wanted to meet with them. They wanted to have lunch with me. They wanted to talk to me. But this, so I did, and that was your boss and Ed Bernstein, Stephen Wynn.
Yeah.
And they asked me if I wanted to help them because they had problems getting parts. Because Marvin Katz, his idea was to start building the car again. So already when we were in Ireland, we started produce parts like the door. We brought in all the guys to finish doors and stuff, and we ordered more fenders and all things. And that's when it turned out. As we inventoried, we had equal amount of right-hand doors or left-hand doors, or the fenders, left-hand and right-hand fenders. But we went by the marking on the crates, and once we opened the crates, it turned out that there were right-hand fenders in left-hand marked. So that's why we had an imbalance of fenders. And he called John Delorean and asked him if he was interested in working with him again to start up production. Delorean had no interest in that. So they started to sell parts to dealers, but it was a bloody mess. They had really no control over things, and Mrs. Katz was a pain in the ass to work with, to tell you the truth, for people. She was a tough cookie. And that's why Ed Bernstein and Stephen called me. They said, we can't get any parts from K-Pac. And my interest has always been for those poor people that bought the car for $25,000 should at least have a chance to keep the damn thing going. So I whenever Stephen went back to England, he sent me a list of part numbers, and I sent him back a fax. Who made it? Contact man, fax numbers, or telex numbers back in those days. And so he contacted all the vendors and picked up some parts that he could buy direct from the suppliers. That went on for, I would say, a few years. And I figured that at least I would be able to get parts for my own car because I had bought my company car from